Hello everyone, I am Ebulu of Perfect Signature, and in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to draft basic bodies, half length, the half basic bodies. Okay, so the bust we will be working with is bust 38. We work with bust 38, then we are going to work with waist. We are going to work with waist 35. Then the half length we'll work with is 17. Okay, we don't need the hips for now. Okay, then we need the shoulder measurement. The shoulder we are working with is shoulder 15. Okay, so enjoy the class. Okay, so number one thing we are going to do is we are going to check, or we are going to determine the workspace. And in determining the workspace, we are going to use the highest body measurement. And the highest body measurement that we are working with is 38. So we are going to divide 38 by 2. So 38 by 2 will give us 19. Then we are going to add 2 inches. So 38 by 2 is 19. Okay, so 19 plus 2 will give us 21. So we'll mark 21 here. So we are determining the workspace now. So 21. So assuming we are working with the ifs, if the ifs is the highest, we are going to use the ifs. But here we are not dealing with the ifs, we are just determining the half length. We want to stop at the half length. Okay, so this is 21. Then to determine front and back, then we are going to divide this 21 by 2. So 21 by 2 will give us what? This is 10 and a half. It will give us 10 and a half. Okay, so it will give us 10 and a half. Okay, so we'll mark it. Okay, then the length we are working with, the half length we are working with is 17. Okay, so we have 17. I'll mark the 17 round so that I can have a straight line. 17 here, mark 17 here too. Then the end of where we mark 21, which is our body determinant. So we have 17 here. So we are going to row. No, frequently. So 21 divided by 2 will give us 10 and a half. So we'll mark the 10 and a half to have another straight line to divide it into 2. So we have 10 and a half here. Okay, so now we have determined the workspace. Okay, so okay, so we have 21, our workspace, and we have divided the 21 into 2, and we now have front and back. So this one, the one that is facing me, is what I'm going to use for front, and the one here will be the one for back. So the next thing we want to determine is the shoulder measurement, and the shoulder we are working with is 15. So the 15 divided by 2 will give us 7.5. So we are going to mark our 7.5. So for both front and back, so mark 7.5. Okay, so now we want to determine our chest line so that we can have our armhole. We want to determine our chest line so that we can have our armhole. So all we are going to do is to determine the chest line, we are going to divide our bust by 6. Okay, so it's going to be 38. 38 divided by 6. 38 divided by 6 plus 2.5. 38 divided by 6 plus 2.5. Now the essence of the 2.5 is for the front we are coming down by 1.5 and for the back we are coming down by 1, so that we can have a straight line. It can be balanced. That's why we added 2.5. So what we have is, don't forget to determine the chest line. We are going to have our bust, which is 38. I'm working with 38, so 38 divided by 6 will give me 6.33. Now 6.33 plus 2.5 will now give me 8.833. So that's what we are going to get our straight line, our chest line. So 8.33, 8.833. So 8.833. Okay, so 8.833 here. So to get the straight line, 8.833, and that's the chest line. We are determining the chest line. 8.833. Okay, so then we'll row. Okay, so we already have our chest line. So on this our chest line, the next thing we want to do is, on this chest line, what we have on our shoulder, we are going to bring it down here, which is 7.5. You know it's 15. 15 divided by 2 will give us 7.5. So 7.5 here. So at the back too, we are also going to have 7.5. So 7.5. So 7.5 plus and 7.5, then we are going to roll. Okay, so we will roll here. So we'll also roll here too. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now is, okay, sorry, I was just ensuring that the mic is still working. So here we are going to come down from the front. Okay, from the front we'll come down by 1.5. For front, will come down by 1.5. For the back, will come down by 1. Will come down by 1. Okay, so to get the front and back slope, that's the shoulder slopes here. So the shoulder slope for front is 1.5. The shoulder slope for back is 1. Okay, so now the next thing is we want to determine our armhole curve. Okay, so the remaining thing that is left here, we are going to divide it by 2. Okay, so what I just do is, wherever it stops, I'm going to bring the tip of the tape rule to the chest line, and just to have the midpoint. Okay, so I already have the midpoint here. So from the midpoint, I'm going to come down by half. Okay, yes, this app works for everybody. Yes, it works for everybody. You know, there are some people that believe that you come up by 3, you come up by 2, you come up by 4. So in order for you not to be disturbed, irrespective of the sizes, so the best thing that you can do is, once you have determined the half of the armhole here, then you come down by half, and with that you are going to have a perfect what you are going to know, what you will determine, or you are going to have the perfect number. Yes, the perfect number to use for whichever size. So the one we came down by with by ½ inch, we are going to come in here by another ½ inch. Then we are going to join it or connect it from the shoulder slope to that point. So from the shoulder slope there. Okay, so now the next thing is, now let's go to the back. Let's do the one for the back too. Okay, so it's not going to be the same for the back, so just follow me. Okay, so we have, don't forget, from the shoulder slope we are determining the armhole curve, or the mid of the armhole now, not the armhole curve, for the mid of the armhole. So the tip of the tape rule, you bring it to the chest line, to wherever it stopped at the chest line. Okay, then you mark. Okay, here you know in the front we came down by ½ inch. So for the back, we are not going to come down by ½ inch. We are not going to do anything. It is there that we are going to go in by our ½ inch, so that we can have our armhole curve. Okay, so from there, from the shoulder slope to that ½ inch that we went in by, we are going to connect it. We are going to connect it. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to input our bust measurement. We want to input our bust measurement. So the bust measurement that we are working with is 38. So it's now going to be 38 divided by 4 will give us 9.5. 9.5. So we are going to put 9.5 here, so that we can draw our armhole curve. That's why we'll put it. Then we'll also put our 9.5 here. Okay, we'll put our 9.5 for the back too. So we have our 9.5 here. So we are going to put we'll do our armhole curve. Okay, I hope you are following, and I hope it is clear. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to move to the half length. Okay, so we already have our half length. Okay, so then sorry, we are going to also determine our bust point. So the bust point we want to work with is 11. We are working with 11. Okay, so we are going to mark our 11. The back does not need bust point because it does not have breast. Okay, so 11. Okay, now, okay, I told you that the back does not have. Now, another thing I forgot to mention when we started was, you know, the front half length is 17. The back half length will not be 17. It's going to be 15. Well, it depends on individual. Okay, the one we are working with is 15. That means the front is 2 inches or bigger than the back. So I'm going to take away 2 inches from the length that I have here. Okay, you know it's 17 that I have here. So I'm going to take away 2 inches from there, which will give me 15 inches for the back. So okay, so and okay, so this place is cancelled. There's no need. Again, we don't need this part any longer. We don't need this part any longer. Okay, so this is our back length, our back, and this is our front. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to input our waist measurement, and the waist measurement we are working with is 35. So 35 divided by 4, what will it give us? 35 divided by 4 will give us, okay, please hold on. 35 divided by 4 will give us 8.75. Okay, 8.75. So we'll have our 8.75. Okay, so 8.75. Now we are going to consider that Okay, so the dart we want to work with is 1.5. Is 1.5. You can work with 1.5. You can work with lesser. You can work with one. You understand? It depends on what you want to achieve. Okay, so let's work with one, but you can work with 1.5. Sure. Okay, so let's work with 1 inch for the dart intake. So we are working with one here. Okay, you understand? So let's leave that. We can also connect. We can connect it. There's nothing, or there's no big deal about that. We can connect it. We'll take the dart now. Okay, and the same thing. Okay, so just hold on for the back. I want us to do something. I want us to do back tightening before we input it. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to our nipple to nipple. So our nipple to nipple or bust span. Our nipple to nipple that we are working with is 8. And 8, we are going to divide 8 by 2, which is going to give us 4, sorry. So we have 4. So at the breast point, we have 4. Then at the waistline too, we have 4. So we are going to connect it together. So this is the breast point, and this is the waistline, and this is the chest. We have the chest line. Okay, so here we are going to connect our bust span, which is also known as nipple to nipple. Yeah, I hope you are following. I hope you are enjoying the class. Okay, so don't forget that our dart intake is 1. So that one is going to be shared into 2. So we'll put one here, we'll put the other one here. So which is half. You understand? Assuming we use what's it called? We use 1.5. It's going to be 0.75, 0.75. But in this case, it's half that we use. So it's going to be 0.5 and 0.5. Okay, so we have 0.5 here. So I'll mark 0.5 and 0.5. Okay, so and we will connect. We'll connect to the breast point. Okay, so we'll connect to the breast point. So our front is literally ready. Yes, okay. It remains the neckline. But before we go to the neckline, so let's go to the back. So number one thing we want to do at the waist line, at the waist part, or yes, the back waist part, is we are going to tighten the back. Okay, so majorly, or depends on shape, depends on it depends on shape, it depends on the fabric type. Okay, so if the fabric stretches a lot, you can take a whole lot of one. In fact, you can take 1.5. It depends on how stretchy it is. If it's not too stretchy and the person is not too fat, you can take half. But if it's just for moderate and for moderate, or for moderate, let's use the word moderate, yeah, you use 0.75. So here I'm going to use 0.75. Okay, so that it will be well contoured, it will be well tightened. So I'm using 0.75 here. Okay, 0.75. I'm using 0.75. Now it is now from this 0.75 that I'm going to input my what? My dart measurement, my waist measurement. And the waist measurement I'm working with is 8.7. 8.7. Don't forget our waist is 35. So 35 divided by 4 will give us 8.75. Now this 8.75, we are from there we are going to impute our dart intake 2, which is 1. Wow. 1. That's exactly where the line stops. 1. Okay, so would have even added 3 inches to the what? To the work, to when we wanted to determine the work, we would have added 3 inches. Okay, so yeah, I was explaining that we would have added 3 inches to the workspace because I discovered that by the time I measured the waist measurement there and added the that allowance, it extended out from the what will I call it now? The line that divided both front and back together. Okay, so I went ahead from the tightening at the back, now I went ahead to take my to put my dart. Now I was trying to explain there also that the tightening that we removed or we deducted there was 0.75, so that you are going to measure from the center back line to where the dart is, which is our dart is our dart the dart we were working with is 8, so our dart divided by 2 will give us 4. Okay, so 0.75 plus 4 will give us 4.75. So the whole of 4.75 you are going to transfer to the upper part, so that we can have a straight line to join with the waistline. So from the chest line to the waistline, we take the same measurement that is at the waistline to where? To the chest line. Then we are going to roll. Okay, so that is exactly what I have explained, and I am rolling there. Okay, so and the next thing we are going to do is I'm going to come down by 1 inch, by 1 inch. I'm going to come down by 1 inch. But before I came down by 1 inch, I we added 1 inch sewing allowance, that allowance. So I opened it up by half inches. Okay, so and which I marked. I marked from the left and right. Then I had already come down by 1 inch, and I will connect. I'm trying to connect there. Okay, so to have our triangular darts. Okay, okay, so I hope you are enjoying the class. Okay, so you can see how beautiful the pattern is. It's so lovely, it's so beautiful. Okay, so here now, the back that we have tightened, I'm going to roll it and take it up to the neckline, or to the neckline. Okay, so that means I'm trying to explain there that that place is no longer needed. So by the time we are cutting out, we are going to also cut that one out, and that is the amount of tightening that we have taken, or we have eliminated to reduce what's it called now, zipper bulge there. Okay, so just trying to show you how the pattern looks like, and the next thing we want to work on. Okay, so I'm saying that we want to work on the neckline area, so in the next video we shall see that.